Okay, so this is another video tutorial that is based on an IGCSE computer science programming scenario. And this time it is this scenario right here that has been slightly modified, but is still kind of following the complete structure of the IGCSE computer science exam for October-November 2020. So the scenario states that there is a baguette ordering service that allows customers to order filled baguettes. There are two sizes of the baguettes, 30 centimeters and 15 centimeters. Baguettes are available as white, brown, or seeded bread, and baguettes have only one filling and one salad option from the list below. So essentially meaning that customers have to make three selections. One is the size of the baguette they would like. The other one is the type of baguette bread they would like. And the other one is the type of filling and the type of salad options they would like from this list below. So essentially there would be a user page that would have the pictures of these fillings for them to see, and one that would have pictures of the salad options for them to see, and finally be able to make the choice when they're completing the order form. Customers choose their baguette options, then they need to confirm the order, or they choose to reorder or not to proceed at all. And then, of course, we need to write and test the program for the baguette ordering service. Your program or programs must include appropriate prompts for the entry of data. Data must be validated on entry. Error messages and other output need to be set clearly and understandably. All variables, constants, and other identifiers must have meaningful names. So that means you have to validate your data. For example, that's what we're going to do in this part of the tutorial. When the users come into the system, or the administrators, because this scenario is divided into two sections. One's going to be for the users to place the order for the baguette sandwich they would like. And the other is going to be for the administrators to be able to view important information, which we're going to see in task 2 and 3. So for the ordering process, if we go to the section right now here, it says that customers are given the choices to choose the baguette sizes they would like, the types of bread. So this is task 1, the types of filling and salad items that they are given. Only valid choices should be accepted. So that of course means that it will be better to create like a drop down where customers can choose from, and that will restrict them to only the options that are available for the filling and the salads. So the customers are asked to confirm the order, to choose whether they would like to reorder or not to proceed. The customer then confirms, if the customer confirms their order, then their order should be stored as a text file for later use by administrators. So this is like when the administrator would like to see the sales of the day, which we're going to see in task 2 and 3, especially task 3. So they would like to see the most popular, least popular fillings that sold out, or the total number of baguette breads that were sold, or the total number of baguette bread sizes and types of bread. All of those important info is only available for administrators. So you can say task 2 is mostly for administrators. This is where we record, your program's supposed to be recording the total number of baguette sizes that were chosen, the total number of types of bread, the fillings that were sold, and of course the total number of baguettes in general that were sold that day. And then task 3 will be to find the most and least popular baguette fillings based on the information. Display the most popular baguette fillings and put it as a percentage of the total number of baguettes that were sold that day. So task 2 and 3 should only be available to administrators, of course not customers. This is why we're going to need data authentication. So that's exactly what we're going to be working on right now, is the first part of this programming scenario, and that's it for the programming scenario. We're going to be using JavaScript, HTML, and CSS to create this very interactive system where we give the user and the administrator two sections or two portals for them. They can choose their portal, they can enter their authentication details, their password, username. If it's valid, then they have access to what they can do, and the user can only have access to the ordering part, whereas the administrator can have access to recording, to basically see information about the sales, and also to find out what was most or least popular in terms of the baguette fillings. Okay, so the first thing we want to do to get started is we're going to go and create some very nice interfaces. So what I want to do is to create a nice home screen for the user or administrator. So I'm going to go to File, and so you go to the LunaPick website, lunapick.com. You just type it in, or you can Google it, and then you can type in lunapick.com. Once you hit an enter, it should be able to open for you the website. So it's the first one right here. Now, once you're on LunaPick, you're going to select File, and then you're going to select New Blank Image, so you can start creating your own unique home screen design for this scenario. So I'm going to make it unique in such a way that it will be both for the administrators and the users. Okay, so once that is selected, you will see this white canvas appear. So here you would need to design your home screen. I'm going to make a simple design, but of course I'll show you some of the tricks that you can do here. There's so many things to do for your design. It shouldn't be too complicated, but nice and simple. I'm going to go with this kind of like mustardy color. I'm not going to change the size of the canvas. The size is pretty okay. I'm going to click go once you select your color. So click choose and then click the go button. And I'm pretty satisfied with this color, so I'm just going to keep it. Now I'm going to go to the option for borders. I would like to put in a border, so I'm going to go, you can go with border tool or you can go with picture frame. There's so many other type of borders you can use, so I'm just going to go to border tool. I would love to keep this red color, so I'm not going to change it. You can also adjust the type of border if you want to do like clouds or something else. You can use like other tiled borders, but I'm just going to keep the red color, so I'm not going to use any tiled border. You can also increase the thickness of your border, which I think I'm going to go to like 30, and it looks much thicker. And then you apply once you're done. So click on apply and the border stays. The next thing I'm going to do is to put a nice text. And of course, I'm going to put a picture. And so just like a picture of baguettes, a baguette or baguette sandwich, something interesting for the user. So I'm going to go put in a text first. So I'll say something like baguette ordering service, or you can say a baguette shop. I'm just going to go with the name as in the scenario. So baguette ordering service or system. And then once you type in there your text, remember to click on the T tool, the text tool, and you get here. Then you can now adjust stuff like the type of the way your text looks like. I would say try to make it like more filling so it can look nice. So like not small text. And you can change your font. I like to go with chubby when doing this type of system. It just looks good for me. You can also increase your font size. So if I want to go with like an 80, it just makes it bigger. It makes it look better. So I think I'm going to stick with the 80 for my font size. And I think I'm also going to go with just the red color. So I'm just going to keep things in one kind of like color tone, so I don't have too much colors varying. Once you're satisfied with this, please don't click apply text until you're satisfied with positioning your text where you want it to be, the size and the style of writing. And I'm pretty okay with this, so I'm just going to click on apply text. Maybe shift it a little bit here. Okay, once you click on apply text, it stays the way it is. The next thing I want to do is look for a nice baguette looking bread, something that I can put as a picture. So I'm going to go search it up, and actually I'm going to go to Google first. So I'm going to do a Google search because I want a nice photo. So you just have to go find a really nice photo. So baguettes, and then I'm going to look for the baguette bread photo that I need. So let's see what I can find. A simple photo will do. You can also get a photo like a sandwich photo, and then you can kind of like remove the background. That can also work. Something like this, for example, and that's also going to work nicely. There's so many options. There's also this option right here, which you can use. So this is a nice looking type of photo. I think I'm going to use this one for sure. So I'm going to save this. This does represent exactly what I want. So once you get the photo you like, save of course to your computer. I'm going to call it Baguette. There's something I need to do though, because this is a web file. So if it's not a PNG or a JPG or a GIF, you definitely need to convert this file to an image file. So once I save it, I'm going to go to convert web files to image files. You can search this up online. So just say convert web file to image files or to PNG. And that's what I'm gonna do first. So I'm gonna go click on this first option, and then I will click on select file, and then I need to go select the file, of course. There it is. And then convert the file to PNG. And then when I convert the file, I download it. Then I need to remove background. So I would like to see this picture without the background just to see if it looks good, because when I don't have a background and I put it on my background, it may look better. Now that I have this downloaded, as you can see, if I refresh, you will see that I have it now as a PNG. There it is. So I'm going to go back and try to remove background just to see if, I'm able to get a nice looking kind of photo that can sync with my own background. So I'm clicking on the first option, and I'm going to upload photo or upload image, choose file. I'm also going to choose this file. So let's see how it looks like. If this works for me, then I'm going to stick with removing the background. So you can just go to this website. I normally use it. I think this is a pretty nice picture without the background. So I'm just going to download it without the background. And that's the picture that I'm going to be using right here. If I refresh, it's going to appear for me. So I'll just delete the old ones. And I'll use this photo for, for what I want to do in my design. So I'm going to put this photo without the background. It's going to sync nicely. So I'll go back to LunaPic. One thing you should do before putting any photo is you need to make sure to save this background with this option that says copy image to clipboard. Another thing is I like to put a nice text. So I'm going to put something like enjoy hot, yummy baguettes. So I'm just gonna do enjoy a hot yummy baguette. I'm just gonna say a hot yummy baguette, and I'm gonna put like a nice text in there. I will change perhaps the style, and of course I just like a little slogan that comes down here. Perhaps I'm gonna change the type of writing. Go with lobster regular. Yeah, this is good. I like this writing here. I will change the color to something else to be a little bit brighter, so maybe blue. So enjoy a hot yummy baguette. I think I might put it over here because I don't want to. One thing you should take note of is don't put anything down here because you're going to be putting buttons when we program this. So you want to give space at the bottom. So I'm just going to save and apply my text. Now I'm gonna now put my baguette photo here, and I'm done with my home screen. So simple design. If you want to do more, of course, you can explore many things here and do more designs or any kind of design you want, but just don't keep, make it too complicated. So once you're done with your design and you're ready to put in your picture, the first thing you need to do is save your design to clipboard. So click on this option on the left. Next is click on the upload so you can go and upload the photo. So once you click on upload, choose file and then go choose the photo. So this is the photo I want to upload. I'm going to say open. And then of course, next thing to do is also once you get your photo opened or uploaded, make sure you also copy it to clipboard. So you have to copy both pictures to clipboard. Then go back to the design. You should have them in this like small box area where all these designs show. Go back to the design and click on the original design you had. And then once you're done clicking and bringing it back, you need to go to effects and say blend to image. So take your mouse over effects and then blend two images so that you can put two on each other. So one on top of the other. So pretty much like this. Okay, and then you can resize it. I definitely say you should resize this because you want some space for the buttons that you're going to be placing. So you don't want, you don't want the picture to be too big. So maybe a medium size sort of like photo because you're going to place your buttons over here. So something like this. Buttons are going to be here. If you want to take it a little bit more to the center, of course do that, but the buttons are going to appear down here. So I think I am fine now with my picture. Once you're done, click on apply. And then my home screen is ready to go. So all I need to do is just scroll down and save my picture. And it's going to download it for me on my computer. So if I go back and I refresh, I should see my picture right here. I'm going to give it another name and call it background. And of course, if I open it up, you can see that my photo is right here. So this is my home screen. I left the space because you can add some more things if you want, but I just kept it simple since this is an example. But you're gonna put your pictures, I mean your buttons for user and administrator so they can have access to the right pages, and that's what we're gonna design now. So we're finished with the home screen. The next thing to do is to design the user and administrator login or authentication page. So the next thing you do is go back to File, click on New Blank Image. So we're going to design the one for user first, and then we're going to do the admin. I like to keep everything same, so I'm going to use the same color. I'm going to also use the same size, so the size of my canvas stays the same. I'm going to also go to borders, keep everything the same. That's kind of what I want to do. Uniform, I don't want to change anything too much, so I'm going to go with the red. I'm going to also increase the border. I think I made it a 30. I'm not really sure, so I'll just go with a 35. And I'll just apply. Now I'm going to go to text. I'm going to use the same font. So this is going to be my user login. And here's more about just text and simple design. So here's the user login page for the user. When they click on the button that says user, they go to this page, and that's where they have to enter username and password to be able to have access to see the type of fillings and salad options that this shop is offering them for them to place the order. So I'm going to go with chubby, I guess, the one that I had before. There it is. And I think I'll go with the same 80 as the size. And if you want to change text color, I'm just going to stick with the same just for uniformity for me. And I'm just going to go with user login. This is all I need. That's it. I'm going to click on apply text once you're finished. Now the next thing I want to do is have a username and a password, and that's all you need to have for this page. Nothing more, nothing less. So I'm going to do username, and I have my username here. I'm going to reduce the size for username so it's not too big. So I'm going to go with 60 instead of like 80 because that's going to be too big. So, or you can go with 70. I guess it depends on the type of fonts that you have. So 70 might actually work for me. So here I'm going to have my username, and then I'm going to have my text box over here, and then I'm going to have the password. So if you want, you can put this all the way here in the center. That I think looks even better. So I'm just going to keep it centralized. Click apply. And I'm going to do my password option. That's all you need to do. And the same thing needs to happen for the administrator. So I'll do password, keep it to 70. And so my password's going to be over here. And so we will have like a username and a password. And I think I'm pretty okay with this. So that's all. That's going to be my user login. If you want to add pictures, I already showed you how to do that. So you can go and add photos and whatever not you want to add. I don't want to add anything, to be honest. I would have loved to add some sort of photo in here, maybe with a burger or something. If you want to do that, please go ahead and do that. But for the sake of the video, I'm just going to keep it simple. Now, once you're done, I'm going to go down and click save. So the user page is done. So now I'm going to go back to my, again, computer, and then I'll write this as my user page. So I'm just going to write user. And then now I have my home and user page. I'm going to go do the administrator page. So I'm going to go back to the same design. You can go back to the same like history that you already had here, which just saves you the time of going back and creating canvas and border. So I'm going to click on the history, and I'm back to this original design. Then I'm now just going to go to text. Now I'm going to say admin login. So this is now for the administrator. Okay, and then I'm just going to put it in the center. I'm going to use the same type of font. So I use chubby. So I'll go with chubby, and I'll use the same size. So it's uniform. So here we have the admin login. I think it's centralized enough. If you don't think so, adjust it a little and slightly here. So I'm going to apply my text. Okay, for admin login, I'm definitely having my username again and password. So username is going to come here, and I'm going to reduce the size to 70. And then I'm going to do password. So password over here. and I'm going to keep it down here. So I have username and password, so something very similar to what I had for the user. So this is the administrator one, and then I'll just click on apply text and I'm done. So simple demonstration. You can do more if you want. I'm just keeping mine simple for now. So I downloaded my, again, my administrator page. So it's going to be this. Going to click on admin. And now that we have our 3 designs, we're ready to start programming and creating our program for this scenario. So I'm going to close all these extra things, go to Replit for us to start creating this program and granting access. You need to click on Create REPL. Okay, so that's the first step because we're going to be choosing JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. I'm just trying to zoom this in so it's a bit more visible. So click on Create REPL, then select HTML, JavaScript, CSS. The name of this program is going to be called the Baguette Shop, or you can say the Baguette Ordering System or Service. Now click on Create REPL. The first thing we want to do is to be able to display this background. So this home screen is the first thing we want to do, and put the buttons as well. So that's what we're going to be working on. And to do so, we are going to go back to our home screen right here. A couple of things I'm going to keep. When you are in your Replit, I'm going to just take out this part of meta care sets. I don't need that. I'm going to keep the title and the link tags because we do need that. We do need to put some code in our style, which is going to be the one that will determine the style of our button. That we're going to be having on our home screen. I'm going to also keep my body tag, and I'm just going to take out the script for now because I'll put that later on. So this is what you should have essentially. So the title is going to be called the Baguette Shop. Okay. The styling, where we're going to create our style for like the styling of the setting, like the background, making sure it's not repeating. We have one whole background, which is our home screen right here, and we don't have anything else repeating. So all of those settings and the style of the buttons will be done in the CSS. So this is just a simple example. The next thing I want to do is in my body, I want to do the button tags that I'm going to have and also the background. But before doing that, I actually want to go to, I would say, let us go to the style first, because let us set the style of the background and everything else we need. And then we will come back into the index HTML page. So don't change the name of your page, keep it as index. Inside of your style, once you click here, it opens. Keep the HTML how it's set in terms of the pages, height, and width. The only thing you're going to be creating is the style for the body of this page because we're going to put a background picture. So we're going to say background image. I'm going to zoom this in a little. And we're going to go with background image right here. And then if you start to type it, it comes out actually. And then you're going to write URL. So that means like the address of your background image. And this is where you need to put this image right here, the name of this picture. So you need to upload all your 3 photos. So I'm going to go click on upload file. And I'm going to select the 3 of them all at once. So they're all here. I just uploaded. This is the admin, this is the background, the home screen, and of course, I think I didn't, let me see if the user has uploaded. Yeah, so the user also is uploaded. So this is the name we need, background.png. So right here, we're going to open it up, and then we're going to write the name. It already appears. That's why I love using Replit in HTML, CSS, because it just has like a stored in memory. One important thing is that you want to specify that you don't want to repeat this background. So background repeat, you're going to say no repeat. So it doesn't like create like replicates of this. So no repeat. So it's just the background that you've designed. Then the next thing you're going to do is to put the size of this background to occupy the entire screen. So we're going to use this setting, this keyword called background attachment, and we're going to make it fixed so that it does not change or duplicate. The background size, we're going to, instead of making it cover, we're going to actually just do the size of 100% for the width and 100% for the height. So it occupies the entire screen. And we don't have, like I said, we're trying to avoid any repetition or duplicates of the background. And that's it for the backgrounds. That's all you need to have. So you have the URL, you have the background, no repeating, the background attachments, which is fixed, and the background size. And that's pretty much it. The other thing is we're going to go into the button design, but yeah, so the button design first, we're going to do that. So dot button. So this is because we're putting a dot button because when we create the button in our HTML index HTML file, we're going to use the name class so we can refer back to this design, this class name. That's why we're saying dot button. We're not just saying button. If we're saying button, then we can't use class. We're going to use ID instead. So dot button means we're using the class name so we can be able to set the design of our button to follow this design. Okay, so in here, we're going to do a background color. So you need to specify what kind of, I want to do a background color for my button. So I'm going to specify the type of background color. Now, there are many places where you can go and specify the background color. So here, for example, if you go to HTML color groups, you can get so many background colors that you may want for your button. So I think I'm going to go with something a little bit light. So maybe something like this color. I'm going to go with Orchid. And you can choose anything you want. Once you choose it in there, it kind of appears and shows you the color. I'm going to go with the color of the text in my button to be white color. And then I'm going to align my text to be in the center. So any text I write on my button, like the name of my button, will be aligned to the center. And then, of course, once that's done, I'm going to set my font size of my button to be like the text that I'm going to write on the button or in the button will be 25 pixels. So the more the number of pixels, the bigger the text is. And so the position, I'm going to make the position relative because I want to position my button because I have my own design. So I'm going to set it as relative, but I'm going to set my left positioning of my button towards the left side. So how much you push your button from the left. I'm going to go 350 pixels because the more I push it, like the more the pixels number is more, like the pixel amount is more, the more the button moves towards from the left to the right. So I'm going to do 350 pixels and sorry, from the right to the left, not the left to the right. And then I'm going to do the top positioning of my button to be 620. So this is because I already know you can do pixel, you can do percentage, any one you want, but you can also readjust this. So I have one button design, but because I'm going to have two buttons, one for the user, one for the administrator, and I have to position them in different positions, I can't use the same design because that will overlap the buttons. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this part and I'm just going to paste it down here. I'll call this one button 1. Everything stays the same. The only difference is I'm going to reposition this. So here I'm going to have something like, perhaps I'll have something like 270 because this will go, I want it to go further to the, further to the left. So I'll reduce the size and then here I'm going to make it 560, but we're going to see how it looks and we can readjust it. And that's all we need for our style for now. So we've already adjusted the body and then the buttons, button and button 1. So now let's go back to the index page and the index HTML page so we can start creating and setting our body and applying this design to our body, which is our background picture, and seeing how that looks. So we go into the body tag. The head tag is the only one that contains just the style and the title of your HTML page. Now, once the head tag is closed, you enter into the body tag. And so in the body tag, actually, inside of the tag, we're going to specify the style. So that means what style do you want to apply from the style.css sheet. So I'm going to say style is equal to, first of all, I want to apply the style that goes to the text. Well, not from my style CSS, but like the styling of my background. And I want it to be like centered. You can do this if you want. If not, you can just run it and see how it is. For the sake, actually, let's do that. Let's run it first and see how everything looks like. and then we can determine if we want to put in a style. So once you click running, this is how it looks like so far. Okay, so it looks this way. I'm gonna make it wider right now. So this is like how it looks. I don't really think I need to do a style. Like style is if you wanna set it to the center, but it wouldn't really matter in this case because I don't have anywhere that shows my background. And you see the position is relative. That means when you make it wider, it can increase according to the screen size and so on. So right now this is okay. So we're not gonna include the style. We're just gonna go into putting buttons. So inside of the body tag, the first thing we're going to do to put in our buttons is we're going to create the button tag, but I'm going to create a background first. I mean a paragraph tag. So the first thing we're going to do is element. Okay, so we're going to be creating, as I said, the button that's going to be placed here. As you can see, we're going to have one button for the administrator, one for the user, using the style that we set here on the style.css. So to do so, we're going to be creating a button tag. So button, we're going to specify the class so that it applies the design, which is why we had this dot button. That was actually the class name, so that this design will be applied to the button that we're going to insert on our background picture. So button class, and then I'm going to say equal, and then we'll put the name here, which is button. And then we're going to give a command so that once they click on username, user or admin, it should open the right screen, which if you guys remember would be either this one or this one, depending on what they click. So here we're going to say, we're going to use this command that says on click, and then it's going to be equal to speech quotes, and then it's going to be window dot open, and then in parentheses you're going to put the name, which is what you want to open. So it's going to be, actually I'm going to use this, but I'm gonna change this. I just want to use the single quotation mark. So it's going to be, in here you put the name of the page. So you have to create the page, one for the user and one for the administrator, so you can open it once they click on the right button. So you have to go back to the left side, click on new file, and then I'm going to call this user page.html. So one's going to be for the user, and then of course create another one, and that's going to be for the administrator. So admin page.html. Make sure you don't make a mistake, hit enter. So now we have our two pages. One is user page and one is administrator page. User page is open, of course, and administrator page is also, what I mean is empty, not open. So that's the name that you're going to be putting in here. So in this open single quotation mark, you're going to write the name of your page. So mine is user, and then of course underscore page dot html. Okay. And then you are going to put in, after that, just close your button. So here, as you can see, what I have. So I have my user page. This is just extra code that I have over here. So user page.html. And then you can also open this as a self-like file. So you can put a comma, and then I'll just copy the single quotes. Like self file means open on the same window right here. So you put a underscore and then write self. And then of course close your single quotes. And then here you can put your semicolon, so you can end this statement. And then this is just the name of the page, user page. And, or I'm just gonna call it user. And then you have to close your button over here, of course. So the button closes here, and then I can just remove those extra lines. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And the next thing you want to do is you want to be able to apply the script well, the script is the part that would open up. But anyways, we will finish putting our buttons first. Then we can do the script part, which is when they click on the user, opens up the user page, which is this part we've done, but also allows the user to enter the login username and password. So I'm just going to copy this line because I want to do the same thing for the administrator. So I'm going to paste down here, and then this one's going to be taking button 1 class, like the name. Remember, we had 2 of them. This was button, this was button 1. The only difference was the positioning of these buttons, because one's going to be on top of the other. And here, what we're going to do is instead of user page, it's going to be admin page. So I'm opening the other one, and that's going to be for the administrator. Okay. And that's pretty much it for the button. So the admin page will be opened, and then we are just going to include the part of the script because we do need to have a script where if they open up the user page, they put in their username and password, it should be able to validate their information. So we're going to have that page. We're going to have that in our other HTML page, which are these pages that we're opening.